I am back. I have not uploaded a video in about maybe 3 or 4 weeks now. I just wasn't really feeling inspired, like no creative fun video ideas came to mind. I didn't feel like filming anything, but it was nice to have some weekends back a little bit. I was just spending some time to myself and I think I really needed that. But I'm really excited to be back with a Q&A about designer bags. So the other day I asked on my Instagram to submit questions about designer bags, and you guys know that designer bags is something I'm always really happy to talk about, so I've gotten my inspiration and energy back and I'm ready to answer some questions. So the first question is, biggest luxury bag regret? I don't own any bags right now that I would say that I necessarily regret. I feel like regret is a really strong word. For the most part, the majority of my bags are pretty thought out purchases, so rarely will I get into a situation where I'm like, oh okay, I made a really bad decision. However, there are 2 bags that I can think of that I probably could have went without. This first one is the Celine luggage. I believe this one is the micro size. I think finding a good tote bag is one of the hardest things out there, and I thought that this Celine bag fulfilled the tote bag needs that I wanted, but it really doesn't. When I buy a tote bag, I want a bag that can fit a laptop, and this one doesn't fit even my smallest MacBook Air. So I mean, it kind of defeated the purpose of me getting a tote bag. Secondary to that, it's a really heavy bag with only top handles. So when it's a top handle, you're carrying it here most of the time, and that can be really heavy on your arm and create a very uncomfortable wearing situation. And I think this bag is hard to resell. I mean, it might go up in value now that Celine has a new designer and these bags are now like not in production anymore, so maybe it'll bring up its rarity and people will want it, but it isn't the easiest bag to sell because it's not a bag that everyone is necessarily looking for. The other bag I could have gone without is this blue Chanel mini, and I think a lot of people would be really surprised because I know a lot of people actually really like this bag, and I think there's 2 folds to this. The fact is that I don't wear minis a lot because I carry a shit ton of stuff and minis are just not in my lifestyle. So very rarely do I get to wear this because of its A, size, and then secondarily, I rarely get to wear it because of its color, because not only now do I have to wait for an occasion where I would be wearing a small bag, so that brings the window down like this, but then also an occasion where I'd be wearing a small bag, but a blue small bag. So it brings down the chances even less so. I still like the color of this bag. I actually probably would have preferred it in maybe a rectangle mini, or maybe even the medium large size. But the fact that it's a mini and it's this color makes its chances of being worn very slim. What's your favorite piece and why? I think this is the hardest question. It's like asking to pick between your favorite I mean, I feel like I probably would have a favorite child if I were to have children, but I mean, like, yeah, pick my favorite bag. I don't know, I love so many of them. I can think of maybe my top 4 or 5, the ones that I wear a lot. Maybe it's less about like picking my favorite, but like acknowledging the ones that I wear very often. Okay, let me just quickly go through the 5 that I think I like them. No, it's just so hard to choose. I don't know. Okay, I wouldn't call these my favorite, but I think right now they're the ones that I get a lot of wear of and I reach for often. So my YSL Lulu is one that I gravitate. It's one of my everyday bags, and whenever I want a black casual bag, this is the one that I gravitate towards. I use this one a lot. My LV Palm Springs mini, I wear this so often, especially when I'm traveling. It's basically one bag that I bring traveling with me, but even on an everyday basis I wear this bag a lot. This Chanel, I think it's called the Coco Boy or something like that. I really like this one because again, it's more casual. The gray is a nice color that suits with a lot of different things and you can wear it on an everyday basis. It's a gunmetal hardware, so it's not too flashy. It's really great for a low-key look, and it fits a lot without looking too big. My Chanel Patent Flat. I think what's really hard is I also really like my Caviar Black Classic like medium large flap, but I really enjoy this patent version. I kind of want to say that arguably I wear my patent version more than my Caviar version because it's a little bit more, I don't know, like durable, and to me it's a little squishy and durable. And I think like the patent just gives a little bit of a different look to it, and that's probably why I gravitate towards it. I don't know, it's a much more like versatile. No, it's not more versatile, it's just more, I don't know, but I do wear this one probably more than my caviar leather. And then this one, I don't wear that often because it's light and I don't wear it as an everyday bag, but it is definitely one of my top bags right now just because it's just fucking gorgeous. Like, and I don't care what anyone else has to say, it is a gorgeous freaking bag. It's so bright because I'm close to the camera, but here, like that. It's gorgeous. How do you afford them? I suck at saving up for them. I think it's a very simple matter of like prioritizing budgeting and then living within your means. Some people would just rather spend their money on like alcohol, partying, traveling, going out with friends, and all those things really add up, and that's okay. If that's what your priorities are and you want to enjoy those things, then enjoy those things. But for me, I don't go out a lot. I don't have really many friends. I'm cheap on a bunch of random different things. It's just the way I brought up. I don't spend money on a lot of little conveniences that people don't even sometimes realize they're putting money towards. Like for example, my phone plan is only 40 bucks a month, and most people's phone plans are like 80 bucks because they're having like 10 gigs of data and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't need that much data. Like, I know what I need and I work within that. And then over the years, just continuing to make more money than I spend. I always lived within my means. When I first moved to Toronto, I didn't like go and live in a condo by myself paying like $1,800 or anything like that. I lived in a house with a bunch of girls in a suburb of Toronto paying 500 bucks for rent. So no matter where I was in life, I always lived within my means. I never lived outside more than the money that I was making. Do you buy secondhand bags, and how do you know which one to buy or not to? So yes, quite a few of my bags are purchased from consignment, and I purchase from people who are reputable, like people who have built a reputation on being authentic and whatnot. But even then, I do my own due diligence as well, because other people can make mistakes. So while that person maybe has been known for selling authentic things, maybe one came by that just like that person just missed something or whatever it may be. So I always make sure I do my due diligence just so that I have peace of mind too. I could probably make a whole video about shopping secondhand, but just some general tips. I always ask for the receipt. I ask if they have had it authenticated by a third party. I ask for very specific photos, looking at the serial number, the stitchings, the logos, all those things that, you know, depending on which brand, there are different indicators that can show you whether something's fake or not. So I do a lot of research and I ask for a lot of questions and a lot of photos because I find that if someone is real and genuine about it, they wouldn't mind answering your questions and sending photos. But if they are getting irritated with you, then maybe they've got something to hide. That's kind of how I play. Current wish list. I don't really have a current wish list right now, which is weird. I've actually been way more into like shoes lately than bags, which is very unlikely of me. However, one thing that I do really need is a tote bag. I've been looking for a good tote bag for a little while now, something that holds my laptop and all my things, especially when I'm going to meetings and whatnot. So I've looked at a bunch of different tote bags, but I just don't like the style that looks like the LV Neverfull. It's not the style that I'm into, and a lot of the tote bags look like that these days. I've looked at YSL, Louis Vuitton obviously, I've looked at Chanel, I've looked at Givenchy, and I don't know, nothing really is kind of checking all the boxes off right now. I feel like people just don't really sell or like design tote bags a lot nowadays. It's very focused on other things and not tote bags, where it used to be very tote bag focused back when I was in college. There was so many tote bags available. Nothing specific on my wish list, just a general tote bag finding situation. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions in the comments below. What's the best designer bag to get if it's your first designer bag? I don't think that there's one bag for everyone out there. I think it really depends on what you're into. I would first look at if you're more of a person who's into smaller bags or medium bags or bigger bags, and then I would have top recommendations based on those things. I get this question asked a lot in my DMs, and then I ask back a series of questions that help narrow down some of the top picks within those things. So size, color, how you see yourself wearing it, how often you want to be wearing it. Those are all things I take into consideration when I recommend like a top bag. I should be a fucking sales associate. When did you buy your first designer bag? My first designer bag was my Louis Vuitton Speedy, and I believe I was in grade 12 or 12, maybe? I would need to look back. I did buy it in the States on a trip. I do remember that. I remember I was in Millennium Mall or something like that. I believe it's in Boston or somewhere in that area. When I was in high school, I bought a lot of Coach bags. Oh, how naive I was. And then I went through a phase of buying a lot of Marc Jacobs bags, but I don't think I would consider that designer. Oh, I found it. I got it in, okay, yeah, so I got it when I was about 17. I had just finished grade 12. Is a photo of it. Yeah, I consider this one designer. I don't consider my Coach or Marc Jacobs bag like designer. I mean, technically Marc Jacobs is designer, I guess, but more of a contemporary designer. This is like my first classic designer bag. In your opinion, what makes designer bags so special? I don't think that designer bags are special per se. I think it's just an interest. For me, it's an interest in the design and the art and the thought and the story that goes behind all these things and the designer themselves. I think it's the same thing as asking someone, you know, why luxury cars are really special to them, and I think that they would respond being like, you know, there's just something about the design, the work that goes into it, the detailing, the thought that goes behind all those things. So yeah, for me, it's seeing the designer, you know, bring this to life, like the creative design, so many creative designs that go behind bags. There's just like so many different bags and so many different stories and so many different styles. I really love the unique bags. Like Chanel has some really nice unique bags that come out, and I think that it's really interesting to look at how people craft and design those styles and make them into something trendy, because you've never seen them before, and then all of a sudden they create style, and so many people are following them. So it's kind of crazy to see like trends and design and fashion come to life. So I don't think that it's special per se, but it's something that I have an interest in because I enjoy the detail and the art behind it all. What's your ultimate bag goal? To own the most variety of Chanels, all the flaps in all the colors, all the classics in all the colors. That's actually what my goal would be. The max amount you would spend on a handbag. The limit does not exist. I mean, I think that question is really relative to like how much I'm making at the time. If I end up making $1 million, then I would probably not have a problem spending 20, 30 grand in a bag. If I'm at a point in my life where I'm making like 200K, I probably wouldn't mind spending up to, you know, like 8, 10K for a bag. I think it's very relative to what your income is at the time, and you can kind of see that in the way that my bag collection has grown. When I was younger and I was making less money, I started off with a bag that was not so expensive, and I wasn't buying bags that very often. And then as I grew and continued to make more money, I was buying bags more often and purchasing higher value bags. Do you tend to buy on impulse, or do you research the bag until you know you definitely want it? I definitely am the type of person to research for the most part. I would say like 90% of my bags have been researched, really looked into, making sure that I'm gonna like it, that I'm gonna have use for it, that it fits within my collection. Like, I try not to buy bags that would cannibalize each other. For example, if I know that this bag is like my everyday black bag for girlier outfits, then I wouldn't buy another everyday black bag for girlier outfits. Like, I would maybe buy something that's a bit more grungy or whatever. I try to not buy bags that cannibalize the use of other bags to make sure that I do end up wearing all of them. Once in a while, I have impulse purchases here and there. Like, I've definitely walked into a store with no intention to buy a bag and then came out with the bag. Those rare moments where I look at a bag and I know that I like fell in love. I'm like there's just nothing else like that. I've completely fallen in love. Any special care that you do to your bags? Not really. I mean, I obviously don't, for the most part, for most of them, I don't chuck them around and stuff like that, and I put them in their dust bag and put them away, but not really any special like care or spray or anything like that. I don't baby them. I don't think that I baby my bags, but I wouldn't put them like on the ground or like treat them like any other random bag. Do you put something to stuff your bag when it's not in use? Yes, for some of them I do. For the ones that are more prone to like caving, so my Chanel flaps, I do put something inside. I just put like a folded up t-shirt, a t-shirt that's folded to like match the bag. I just put that in there. Favorite wallets and small accessories. So this one is my fave wallet and my fave SLG. It's a 2-in-1 kind of thing. The Chanel, I don't know what it's called, but it zips around like this. Then in here it breaks out into 3 different compartments. There's a middle compartment where I put my coins. There's a side compartment where I put like cash, and then another side compartment where I put cards. I hate bringing around big wallets, so this one is my favorite. The next question, how does the whole SA thing work? So SA stands for sales associate, if you guys are unaware, and that refers to the people who work in the boutiques. I think in the luxury shopping world, you often hear people refer to my SA, or I'll text my SA, or I'll ask my SA, or my SA told me this. That's completely just based on on a relationship that you have curated with this person. And the reason why people tend to stick to one essay or maybe one or two essays is because you built a relationship with them, they understand your needs, maybe they treat you really well, and then you want to make sure that the commission that you're getting goes to them. And I think that's what I care about the most. If it's someone who's invested their time in me, then I want to make sure that they're getting the commission that they deserve, because a lot of the time a luxury bag purchase isn't about just going in and grabbing a bag. Like, they spend maybe hours with you looking at the bag that one time, maybe you come in, they look at the bag with you again. So like, it is a long process for them. It's not an easy transaction. So for them to invest maybe, you know, 2 to 3 hours with you on deciding on your purchase, I think they then deserve to get the commission for that. And I think that's where that whole like essay relationship comes in, because you want someone who's willing to spend that time with you, that you can trust, and then obviously wanting them to get rewarded really well. So if you went in and you found an essay that you really enjoyed shopping with, then I would suggest you swap information, just being like, hey, like, would love to shop with you again, like, could I get your business card and I'll let you know the next time I'm coming in, or something like that. They'd be more than happy to be establishing that relationship with you. Thoughts on the Chanel WOC? For me personally, that's not a bag that I think I will ever own. I did purchase one for my mom, however, but for me it's just not something that works in my lifestyle. Again, I carry a lot of things that Chanel WOC carries about nothing. I don't think I will ever be a minimal person that will be able to carry only what's in the Chanel WOC. It's not suitable for my lifestyle, and it also doesn't really fit me very well. I've tried it on before. The strap is really long, so it goes way past to where it should be if I'm wearing a crossbody. But I do like the versatility in being able to change the strap by wrapping it around. I like that look. I've seen my mom wear the strap in different ways, like somewhere here and then up here a little bit more. I think it's a good bag if you're a minimalistic person and you just don't carry them around much, and you want like a nice basic staple that will match a lot of different outfits. That could be something for you. Do you think the LV Palm Springs Mini is worth it? 110%. It is one of my favorite bags. I've gotten so much use out of it. Like I said earlier, it's my go-to travel bag. It fits so much. The thing is, like, it looks small and it is like very malleable and small and flexible because it's just canvas, but it really fits so much and can expand to fit a lot. I can fit my camera in here, my wallet, my sunglasses, and medication, more, everything in here. It essentially fits a lot more than it looks, and I like that it looks small so that it doesn't look too big on me. You can wear it as a backpack, you can wear it as crossbody, you can wear it as on the shoulder. There's just so many different ways. I've even seen people wear it like kind of across like a fanny pack. There's just a lot of versatility to it. I think it's very much worth it. It's one of the bags that I use the most. What do you think of the Chanel Gabi bag? I'm assuming you're referring to the Chanel Gabrielle, and at first I didn't like it at all, but it has grown on me over the past year or so. And I actually think it would be something that I would consider purchasing. I actually at one point was like trying some on and maybe looking into it. I mean, I don't think it fits my style right now, but I could see myself growing into something like that. I can appreciate that it's a nice bag, and I think that I will get to a point where I would find more use in a bag, like something like that. But yeah, right now it's just not suiting my style. A lot of my style right now is a little more casual and like more neutral and boyish or grungy, I guess, whereas the Chanel Gabrielle, I think it could be a casual bag, but it still looks very like girly and feminine. Thoughts on the LV Cle, the key pouch? I really like it, but I don't know about the practicality of it. I think that it really depends on your lifestyle. For me, I would actually find use in something like that. I have a couple key pouches myself that I use to put little coins in or cards in or whatever it may be, and I can just throw it into my bag. So I use it as like an organizational compartment essentially. Because I don't like carrying large wallets, I prefer to have a card holder, and I've gone through different types of card holders. I've personally never had the LV Cle, but my best friend Jen loves that one. I think she has more than one. I think that if you think it will be useful in your life, then I think it's a practical purchase. But if you're not the type of person to, separate your coins or keys or whatever, then maybe not. But I would find use in that. Thoughts on Dior bags? I don't own a Dior bag right now, and I never was really into them, but up until maybe last year when I saw the Diorama, I think that was called, I fell in love with that bag so hard. I never ended up getting one because I just never found the exact one that I was looking for. But ever since then, I've become a lot more in love with Dior bags. I used to hate the Dior lady, but I think it's really cute now, and it's something that I've considered buying. I still think about the Diorama sometimes of like, maybe I could pick that one up, but it is relatively expensive, and I think that I haven't gone to it because it's expensive and I don't love it enough to spend that much money on it right now. And I think I will eventually get a Dior bag, just haven't gotten to one yet. So there you have it. I've covered most of the questions that you guys have asked. Let me know if there's any specific thing that you heard in here that you would love for me to deep dive more into in a separate video. And if you have any other questions, you can leave them below. I will try my best to get to them. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and subscribe, and let's talk bags! Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!